Why do guys take so long to be ready in a relationship?
As in, like, ready for commitment?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I tend to find that nowadays, even when they're in their 30s, they're still going to clubbing, still wanting to enjoy that single life.
Mm.
But no one's actually wanting to settle down. And I don't understand why. So what is it?
I think that it's not necessarily that they don't want to settle down. I think that the age in which, or the stage in which people get to a point where they are wanting to, has gotten later compared to previous generations.
Why do you think that is?
I think there's a few really influential factors. One, most women aren't just looking to leave home and then just be a wife and a mum straight away. They want to have a career first, right? All the power to them. But back in the day, it was you leave home at 19, 20 and you're moving to a man's house and you're building your life with him. Partly because they didn't have the opportunity for work, right? So that played a big part. Now they do. Very few women do that. Most women tend to go have a career at some point, especially if they studied, right? Because it's like, well, I've paid for this education, so I'm going to use it. So that means they are naturally delaying when they want to do it. And of course, a guy can't just do it on his own, right? Also, because of the cost of living comparison, the average job used to support a family of 4.
I can't do that anymore.
Now the average job gives you a house share of 4. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a lot of guys feel that they're not in a position where they can be the man they want to be within their relationship to start a family. So for example, if a guy says to himself, like most households have 2 incomes nowadays, that's pretty normal, right? But if he's saying, okay, I want to be the kind of man, I want to be the man who, you know, whichever woman I choose, she can choose to work. If she works, great. But if she doesn't, I've got us. Yeah. Right? To get to that position today, in today's economy, how much everything costs, all of that takes much longer.
I do agree with
much longer. And so for a lot of guys, they kind of see it as like, imagine like baseball, right? And you know, we said it earlier, you might only have one chance at a pitch. So if a guy's looking at the pitch and he's like, I can swing with this bat right now, but it's a bit small. Let me go, get a bigger bat and then come back and then swing because I want to make sure I hit a home run the first time. So if he feels that his bat isn't big enough, no pun intended, but he feels like his bat isn't big enough, he might be like, he wants to work on getting a bigger bat. So then he can come back and then he can be the man he wants to be for the woman he chooses and for the family he wants to have. And that takes longer.
That makes sense.
You know, like back in the day, like I said, the average job would support a whole family. I think, like you said, the abundance or illusion of abundance. So it's like we have way more access to way more people. Yeah. If you go to a club, you can meet someone new every day if you're out every day.
It's true.
Right. So
although I don't think meeting people in clubs is wifey or husband material, but
I agree with you. I wouldn't say that's the best place.
No.
That you're gonna find that.
How would a man know that a woman's the one?
It's a great question.
And how long do you think you can, like, you'll know? Is that 3 months, 6 months, a year? Like, is there a timeline, do you think, as well?
I don't think it's as universal as, okay, by 6 months he knows she's, when you say the one, as in the one for him for life. Yeah. I don't think there's a certain time frame that's universal. Some flames burn slow. So some guys might not know she's the one until 2 years in when he's like, oh, I don't see my life without this woman. And then within the first few months, if he like knows what he wants and there's that connection that he might go, this is her. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think there's like a universal time frame that he would know. What I would say is that if he's in a stage where he's ready for something serious, it's definitely quicker, I would say.
Right.
Because if he's like, okay, I'm ready for something serious, then it's like he does know what he wants. What makes him what makes him know she's the one? Okay, I would say there's like 3 criteria that guys think about.
Yeah.
1, the physical attraction. Like, is this somebody that he could obviously, have physical intimacy with? Obviously, if he couldn't, then he wouldn't even be there.
It's true.
Is this woman a place of peace for me? That is huge for guys.
But peace works both ways.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that women don't think that as well.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for guys, that's something that they do think about. And does he see her being a good mother? Like, the mother for his children. In the sense that, is she warm? Is she nurturing? Is she someone that he can trust to? Because the man, it is naturally, the masculine is naturally generous, right? And I don't mean to be crude, but it's even in our biology, right? Like when you're, being intimate with a guy, and he climaxes, he doesn't just give you 1 sperm, not 2, not 5, millions, right? Yeah. The masculine is naturally generous. And it takes a lot when he is generous, because what happens when guys finish? What's the first thing they do? They just pass out. They're done. Dead to the world. Yeah. Dead to the world, right? And it's like that in life. With the one that he chooses, he's going to give her everything, because he will literally sacrifice his life force, his time, his emotions, etc., his financials, all of that, to invest in her, because the feminine cultivates and multiplies. And that's the beautiful thing about that, right? He gives her a seed and then she brings forth the child, right? Yeah. You give a woman a house, she's going to make it a home. Yeah. So she does a lot in that. But obviously for him, it's really important that whoever I'm going to give that everything to is really important. Someone I can trust, someone I know I can be vulnerable with. So the nurturing aspect, someone who can be a great mother, is she peaceful? And is he attracted to her? And honestly, as a woman, if you tick those boxes for a guy, that's the thing with guys, we don't actually look for that much.
Really? Because I feel like there's certain guys or certain men,
yes,
they get all of that, but they don't want it.
How do you know that? Do they get all of that by your standards or by their standards?
Well, I can't speak for them, so I'd have to say by my standards.
Sure. Yeah, because I think a lot of the time, and guys can do this as well, but if I'm being honest, I do see it more on the woman's side. Where she were like, oh, she's an amazing woman, she's desirable because of this, this, and this. And guys are like, the things you just said, I don't care about.
Makes sense.
Like, we're like, oh, well, why is she, why don't guys chase after her? She's making this much money, she's got this business, and blah, 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 for example. And guys are like, okay, but that's not what makes me want to choose a woman.
Oh, going off of that, why are some men intimidated over successful women?
This is I actually answered this on one of my stories recently. So this is a common myth.
Oh.
I would say it's there might be a small percentage of guys who are intimidated by that, but generally speaking, it's not that.
Right.
It's that a lot of the time, anyone who is successful in any industry, they have to be very alpha, very dominant, very aggressive, right? Because to be successful in an industry, no one's just going to say, hey, come and take the top position. You have to fight for it.
Yes.
Right? It's very competitive. Those are very masculine qualities, right? That we cultivate in ourselves to be able to succeed in certain areas. So a lot of the time, a lot of women who are successful and independent, they're so used to operating in their masculine because it's helped them succeed. They bring that energy to their romantic lives. And if you're looking for a strong masculine, either successful or ambitious man, right? He's going to be attracted to the woman more in her feminine. Because if you bring that masculine side to your romantic life, you're going to attract the feminine men, which tends to what happens, right? You attract the guy who doesn't know how to make a plan. He looks to you to make the plan. He looks to you to take the lead. He looks to you to maybe even provide. Do you know what I mean? He's looking up to you. So the masculine attracts the feminine and vice versa. So a lot of the time, And, you know, there's compassion there, but let's just be honest. A lot of the time, if you're so used to being in your masculine 10 hours a day and then you've got a date later, it can be, if you're not used to knowing how to tap into that other side, then the successful masculine men, you're going to repel. And the men more in their feminine who maybe look to you to lead and for guidance, those are the ones you're going to attract.
That makes sense.
So a lot of the time, because, for example, if... you know, I use the example of Taylor Swift. She's one of the most successful women who's ever existed, ever. But she's always gotten the relationship she wants. Oh. Guys are intimidated by her. But that's because when it's in her romantic life, actually, even on stage, even like in her in general, you can see she still very much operates in her feminine energy. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to being like, and there's nothing wrong with this, but as opposed to being like, oh, a big boss babe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's no right or wrong, but it's just down, okay, what do you want? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are girls intimidated by in a guy?
I mean, I think I could only speak for myself then.
Yeah, go for it.
I think I'm slightly intimidated by a guy doing better than me. And I know that sounds really, really weird.
Interesting.
But to me, I'm slightly intimidated because if I know a guy is doing better than me, number one, it makes me want to work harder.
Yeah. What, to catch up to him?
To catch up to him. I don't know why. It just does.
Okay.
But I think that's one thing I'm intimidated by. I think there's nothing else I could really think that, I'm intimidated by a man by, except from if he earns more money than me.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that I wouldn't want a guy to earn more money than me. But I just find it a bit intimidating. But it could possibly be because in my previous relationships, I've always been the one to earn a lot of money more than them.
You don't have to answer this. Did you feel like that gave you a level of agency in the relationship?
What, as in?
Because you were doing financially better than they were?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe you're so used to having that agency and maybe that was something you really enjoyed. If you're with a guy who's doing better than you, you wouldn't have that agency. And you're like, I don't know what that feels like. And I know what it feels like to have that agency. And maybe I don't know if I can trust him with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah. For me, I've had the opposite.
Oh, really?
Every woman I've, maybe apart from two, but they were significantly older than me.
I see.
But they've all not been where I'm at. Interesting. I mean, it's good if it makes you want to do better, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. Because it does push me a lot.
Yeah. See, I usually hear from girls they can be intimidated if a guy is very attractive.
See, with me and attractive men, it's a turn off. And by that, the reason why it's a turn off for me is because I feel like being attractive comes with so much baggage. So it's either like more. You'll get so many females after you. I can't be able to deal with that. That's too much. Or
does that not come down to you trusting him?
It does. It's just I don't want someone that's appealing to everyone else. That's just me. I don't know why. Okay. I just don't want someone that's appealing to everyone else.
That is so funny.
Because that's like, everyone wants it.
Yeah, but you're the only one who gets it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want that.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know that when I was younger, I would always be attracted to like the most attractive guy.
Yes.
But as I've got older, I'm more personality than anything. It's not about looks. And yeah, attractiveness. Like I can say, yeah, you're attractive. Yeah, you're a good looking guy. Yeah, fair dues. I won't hold you to that. But I just personally wouldn't go there.
So, okay, I have a question. That's so interesting. Okay, so if there was a guy who you'd met, amazing personality, like I really like how he holds himself, I really like how he conducts himself, he seems like a good person, but he was really attractive. And then he was like, hey, let's go for a coffee, right? Or what was it that you said? The mini golf place?
Oh, Pit Shack.
Right, they're like, hey, Fendi, let's go Pit Shack. Would you be more likely to say no because he's really attractive?
But he has the other qualities.
Yeah, so personality-wise, you're like, I think this is a really good guy.
I'd have to vet him. I'd have to proper vet him
How would you mean? But
to make sure there's
what?
no other girl that thinks that she's in a relationship with him. Because that's obviously I don't want to put that all attractive people are like that.
No, I know.
I'm trying to say,
I know.
But yeah, I have to proper vet him.
You have to make sure that. I mean, okay. So you're like the likely. Make sure that there's another girl who doesn't think she's in a relationship with him.
Because
Okay, I understand.
Being attractive can sometimes come with problems.
Yeah, but I think it causes more problems for women than for men, because I don't think men's attractiveness is that powerful in comparison.
Well, if a guy's attractive and he's got money, I think in this day and age.
Well, yeah, if he's successful and attractive, 100%. He's kind of winning in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, he's winning. Well, he's winning in terms of getting the attention, but maybe not necessarily the right people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the caliber, not the quality necessarily. That's so interesting. Have you ever rejected a guy because you just thought he was too attractive?
In my personal opinion, I don't think I've had an attractive guy like approach me. That's my own personal opinion. That's
cold. Any guy watching this who's with her will like, wow.
They're just not my type.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I've had that I can think of.
I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest to you, Fenny. I don't believe that. I don't believe that you've never been approached by an attractive man. Maybe you didn't find them attractive, but I know you said generally you're like...
Well, someone that I find attractive, I personally don't think I've had that. Like someone come up to me that I found attractive. Maybe other people might find him attractive, but I personally don't. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like on one hand you've said that, oh yeah, there are guys that you've been with that you're like, I'm the only one who found them attractive. So by conventional standards, they probably weren't that attractive.
No, yeah.
But then if attractive guys by conventional standards had approached you, you probably didn't find them that appealing. That is very interesting. Okay, I'll take it.
But that's just me.
Hey, listen, I think that's interesting for sure.
I hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.